All right, allow me to send a shout out to my sister because my sister, when I press the button, I can see her. That's my sister-in-law. Shout out to you. Her name is Rumbi as well. It's so good to have you this morning. Welcome everybody to Rumbi Uncensored. It's a Wednesday, and I'm excited to have you here. COUP-proofing. The military vehicles are equipped with some tracking device. That's what the streets are saying. So be warned and be careful. Mnangagwa is shaking. For those that have been thinking this man has got it all under control. Does that look like someone who has got it under control? Mnangagwa is under pressure. He's running like a headless chicken, trying to protect himself from what's coming. So no one knows what's coming, but there's something that is coming. Mnangagwa, if he doesn't give up in the right way and do what he's supposed to be doing, resigning, stepping down, because he has failed to lead the people of Zimbabwe. That one is not even a discussion at all. We don't waste time discussing this. He has failed, and he needs to understand that. It is as simple as that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Are you guys well? All right. Let's listen to Obama. Let's listen to Obama, please.
President is a public servant. They are temporary occupants of the office by design. And when your time is up, then it is your job to put the country first and think beyond your own ego and your own interests and your own disappointments. My advice to President Trump is if you want at this late stage in the game to be remembered as somebody who put country first, it's time for you to do the same thing. A president is a public servant. They are temporary occupants of the office by design. And when your time is up, then it is your job to put the country first and think beyond your own ego and your own interests and your own disappointments. My advice to President Trump is if you want at this late stage in the game to be remembered as somebody who put country first, it's time for you to do the same thing.
As simple as that. I'm sending the very same message to Emmerson Mnangagwa. If you want to be remembered as someone who tried, at least for the first time, try something. You have failed. You have lied to deceive people. You have broken hearts. Under your administration, there have been abductions, torture, killings. Under your administration, at least do one little thing. One thing is just to walk away peacefully because you really has failed the people of Zimbabwe. There's no need of wasting time. We can't be fighting with you to tell you that, sir, you are not the one. There's no need for us to fight. You just need to walk away peacefully, right? But if you don't, remember what Geza said, if you don't, you will walk away. Okay, you eventually going to go. There's no way you can hide. Anyway, I know some of you, it's your first time to come across this channel, and I want to say welcome. Please do yourself a favor and subscribe. Make sure that you ring the bell. So at least every time I'm live, you'll be robbed right here. I want to say shout out to my regulars. I can see your numbers, almost 200 people joining us. Guys, don't forget to thumbs up the video. Thumbs up right now. Share with others in your groups. They need to join us as we discuss this war shende of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Yeah, Temba Muliswa is in trouble. Okay, you see, I've always been saying, if you know that you're a public figure, this is my 2 cents advice. Make sure if you decide to date someone, date people who have a lot to lose. Okay, I repeat, if you're someone with a name to protect, when you're dating women, date people who have a lot to lose. Otherwise, you're going to go down with them. That will be your downfall. I'm saying that you can see with Mnangagwa. You can see it. You wish. You can see with the Mnangagwa, you've had a lot of nonsense going on. It's the lack of understanding that that position you're sitting in is a very, very sensitive space. You don't just act anyhow. There's a way you are expected to behave. Now, the Susan Mutami is one of Themba Mliswa's babe mama, who sent a very, very stunning message yesterday. Said, "Dear Police Zimbabwe," she's calling Police Zimbabwe and the Zimbabwe National Army, "Can you please dispatch the forensic unit to Themba Mliswa's homestead in Shurugu and start digging? You'll find skulls of some missing children that were used for some ritual practices. You will thank me later. Love, Amaitino." So what she's alleging is that if you drive to Churugi and look at Themba Mliswa's house, you'll find human remains there that he used for rituals. I don't know how true that is. That is the babe mama. So if your babe mama is saying this, surely she knows your game. Remember, you guys have dined together. So guys, again, if you know you've got a lot to protect, dead people whom you know have also a name to protect. It's a sad story. Very sad. Reaction, some said, "My way, to my group phone, please tozonzwa." Zvakadzika, Mwakati, when did you come aware of these bodies? Mwakati, exposure. Themba gara hana manyanisi. He can do everything for survival. Hazvishamisi kuti Themba ane mikuyu pasi. Hazvishamisi. Okay, so like I said, dead people have a lot to lose. You know, Themba being a flip-flopper, he doesn't understand that for a long time he has been criticizing Chivayo. But all of a sudden, now he's supporting Wikner. This is what he said some time ago. That was in 2018. He said one of the reasons stated for RG Mugabe's impeachment process was failure to effectively deal with the Chivayo matter. Now Chivayo is being taken 10 times more to buy more suits. This is ill-advised, likely to create rifts between Pali and the executive. It's egg in the face of the nation. So he was against Wikno Chivayo, right? That was in 2018, immediately after Mnangagwa was into power. But I've always been saying Mnangagwa played his own PF for a long time. It has been a long game coming. I remember what Atham Tambara said, Professor. He said that there was a time they wanted to visit Robert Mugabe in the office. And then Mnangagwa blocked him. But he had to push them in order for him to get access to Mugabe. Does that sound like normal people to you? You are meeting someone for a meeting, even at your workplace. You have to be pushed for a client or a recipient to meet your boss. And you can't. That will show you the kind of people we've been dealing with for a long time. Unfortunately, we didn't have the teeth to deal with criminals. That's one of the reasons why today we are paying a price. Because the man that could have been behind bars is in the office of a president. It's shameful. A man who's supposed to be behind bars, you could have been arrested a long time ago under normal circumstances. Because Mnangagwa has a horrible track record. That's one of the reasons why he's struggling. You'll be shocked. Some people think that Mnangagwa may be able to buy Chiwenga. And I've been laughing when I saw these tweets. I've been laughing. So Themba promised you to share with you different episodes. To my surprise, yesterday people were waiting for him to share the second dossier. There was nothing, but this is what he shared. Okay, he's threatening Chiwenga that if you're trying to execute a coup, you will not succeed. Let me read. He said, "I respect General Chiwenga, but he is now a politician. What I'm engaging is the standard expectation for any politician, particularly those in leadership. The bare obligation to justify their actions, especially when their rhetoric diverges from the reality of their association. In the realm of politics, scrutiny is part and parcel of the role. It's rather unfortunate that some continue to perpetuate the notion that the VP still operates in the capacity of CDF, entitled to squash every contrary notion. He is a politician now. I can emphasize with the frustration he may experience while interacting with civilians. After years of commanding compliance without question, politics presents a different landscape. Here we demand clarity and accountability for each directive and promise made. As for those who fancifully suggests that a coup is on the horizon. I suggest you take a seat and breathe deeply. Nothing of the sort is brewing. Let's not engage in vicious and dangerous speculation. Zimbabwe proudly stands as a constitutional democracy. Should you yearn for change, whether that entails ousting President Mnangagwa or rallying for the opposition, merely register to vote. 2028 is just around the corner. Yet, it appears some of you are neither registered voters residing within the country or are not participating in ZANU-PF's conference in Mutare, yet you gallivant about with far-fetched theories of any impending political apocalypse. Doesn't the absurdity frighten you? Your personal aspirations hardly constitute a clandestine scheme unfolding somewhere. Mucha dzinkisava numabasa with your wild stories. Zikamisa hana and participate in the politics properly. Okay, so he's alleging that Chiwenga can be fired by Emmerson Mnangagwa. Remember, he's citing to the fact that Mnangagwa appointed Chiwenga, but he's forgetting that Chiwenga actually anointed Emmerson Mnangagwa. Chiwenga trusted the wrong person. I don't even know, when I see young people who are busy gallivanting around Mnangagwa, I feel sad and feel pity for them because they actually don't know who they're dealing with. This man here is a user. He treats you like a chewing gum. Once the taste is gone, he just spit you. I do not know what to say. Emmerson Mnangagwa is a user of men. He has used so many, which include the military generals who anointed him, believed in him. Where are they today? Some of them were wearing wigs and wearing dresses, trying to save him from the wrath of Mugabe. I'm saying, where are they today? He doesn't care. All he thinks about is himself. And including also Themba Mliswa. I find it said when he talks about the country being a democratic country, we don't even have reforms right now. The elections in 2023 were a mess. We lost 1.1 billion rand. That was stolen via the guise of these elections, transferred to a company called Rainform in South Africa. Only paid 300 million, and then 800 million was paid into different accounts that belonged to Wikno Shiva in South Africa. But only God knows what. Where did the money go? Okay, to the big boys. It's on record. Okay, it's on record. Very sad. Reactions. His silence is giving you a hard time. Wefunga kuti vacheta live video vachiramba mosha. Can you start with ED? What you don't realize is that you're actually unwittingly campaigning for general. What about the children's bodies buried at your homestead? Pastor said, I think your problem is just one. If you have the guts to expose the general, you should as well do the same Babamkuru idiot. Okay. Zimbabweans are angry because the kind of language can show you people are mad. Now the co-proofing that Mnangagwa is working on. So allegations are these cars that were given to the military are already equipped with some gadgets so that he can listen to all the conversation you guys are having. Does that sound like someone who knows his game? Like, imagine if you know that you've got it all under control. You don't even need to play all these shenanigans. Because, I mean, come on. A powerful and strong man will never be shaken by small little things. Like, you always think that he's this powerful. I went into archive and I pulled what Jonathan Moore said. I wanted to listen to Jonathan Moore. The streets are just interesting. Take a listen to what Jonathan Moore said when he had an incredible interview with Sophie Mukwena. Very interesting. Take a listen, please.
So-called dispute, succession dispute between the Mnangagwa faction, which called itself Lacoste, and the so-called G40 that we were associated with. It was a power gap related to a factional fight within ZANU-PF. It had nothing to do with the public interest. It had nothing to do with the national interest. It had nothing to do with the territorial integrity of Zimbabwe. It was an unprecedented in our region, in Southern Africa, act by the military to descend down to the level of squabbles within a political party.
Before this happened, there was a constant attack on Mnangagwa and those who were perceived to be part of the Lacoste, and you were classified as a member of the G40. That was provocation. I mean, when you look at what the First Lady, the former First Lady, was doing in rallies.
Are we being told that if there is a spirited political campaign within a particular party, in this case a ruling party, and if this campaign is taking place at rallies, meetings, where there's a robust debate and very tough things are said about members or leaders of the party, are we being told that in the new SADC, in the new African Union, when that happens, it's a recipe for a coup? It's a recipe for a military coup. Is that what we are being told? There was equivalent spirited debate in South Africa within the African National Congress that we saw in provinces like KwaZulu-Natal and many others, where strong views, ideological views, whether to do with state capture, whether to do with radical transformation of the society and the economy, whether to do with corruption, accusations that certain people are corrupt, even the president, let alone a deputy president. The president of South Africa faced quite some robust debate. Are we being told by this question that when that happens, then the army should use force? It should unleash tanks in order to take a side? The Zimbabwean president is a very dangerous one. It is uncivilized. It's unbelievable that in 2017 you can get a country's army descending unprofessionally, unconstitutional, the level where you say a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Information believes that he has been insulted at a political rally. Therefore, because he's good buddies with the head of the armed forces, they are going to use that to justify the deployment nationwide. The whole country, and the country was under military siege from the 15th of November to the 18th of December. Because of that, now, what is really of concern to many, especially members of the former ZANU-PF, as it was before, is that Emmerson Mnangagwa, General Chiwenga, and all these people in the military cabal associated with the bloody coup of 15th of November.
All right. The Shane Gore said Zimbabwe will not become a Mnangagwa colony. Junior soldiers will serve it. And I completely agree with that. Because, you know, these people seems to be to forget that this is life we are talking about here. It's not some kind of a joke. We're not going to believe in an illusion. This is the real life we are talking about. It's us who's suffering because of their greedy. It's us who are paying the price. And we're not willing to do so, unfortunately. So ED came via the coup, but he is worried, you know, about him being booted out. But he came through via the same route. Can you see how selfish this man is? And I'm shocked that Jonathan Moyo is actually comparing Zimbabwe to South Africa. Talk about debate. Guys, did you ever had a debate in Zimbabwe, a proper debate in politics? Like talking about real debate, except all those funny things that I saw in 2023. It was just like the these small little boys, and it was all manner of... I'm talking about real, authentic debate that addresses the issues that we're facing today. Have you ever had such... Absolutely not. So I'm not buying the nonsense that Jonathan Moyo is saying. And how the mighty have fallen. In the selfishness of politicians is that you are worried about Mugabe being booted out in a favorable way. But you forget the people were killed, abducted, tortured. Families today, some of them don't even have their legs. Some were being asked, can we cut you? Do you want a short sleeve or long sleeve? Under the administration of Mugabe. But all of a sudden, by just him being comfortably so protected, because remember, the military did not touch him, you see something wrong with it. I wanted to talk about that. Today we need to define what leadership means once again. And I want Emerson Mnangagwa to listen very carefully because I know his boys are here. They will carry this information. You making a mistake, don't carry it, guys. Take this and make sure you switch on the television. Let Mnangagwa sit and listen to me. That to be a leader does not mean that you have come there to abuse the people. You don't sit in a presidential seat as a father. We're not your children. You are an employee who's paid by the taxpayer. Okay, so if you don't actually know what it means to be a president, so let me educate you. You are an employee that is being paid by the taxpayer. So what you're doing is you are using the borrowed power to abuse our destinies. Meaning, if our parents raised us well, you are literally destroying our lives just for your selfish gains. For your personal gains, because your children, your children are deputy ministers in the finance. The other children are doing as they please in mining. Your other child, all of a sudden, he finds himself with the rank that he doesn't even deserve in the military. Okay, your wife is gallivanting and be lying to the people. But you guys are siphoning billions and billions of dollars in foreign lands. Dubai, you are having deals with the underworld guys, gangs, at the expense of the people. You have billions and billions of dollars. You are the most richest men in Africa. Emerson Mnangagwa, just that you people don't actually understand. You are richer than the country that you preside. Are you telling me all of us, the whole of Zimbabwe, the money that you are paying taxpayers, I'm talking about billions of dollars, you are richer than the country? Where did you get the money from? So Jonathan Moore is worried about Mugabe and his ones, that Mugabe was supposed to be like, excuse me, sir, please move peacefully. But people never knew peace under his regime. Today, Zimbabweans don't even know peace under Emerson Mnangagwa's regime. You want us to be nice to you, to be sweet, to make sure that we talk to you. Excuse me, you are a servant. You're not a god of the people. Know your place. Otherwise, if you don't understand what leadership is, then allow those who understand to serve. I don't buy these rhetorics of want to act as if he's the God of us. We must all be afraid of him. Hello? It doesn't cut. It does not cut. You are a servant of the people. It is as simple as that. So whether people boot you out or you don't have a choice, you actually do not have a choice. You do not have a choice. You don't have. Mnangagwa has failed to even achieve the bare minimum. I'm talking about the bare minimum. I'm shocked when I hear my Chinomona begging Mnangagwa and saying, Baba, tikukukumbira ukutumisa mishonga mu hospital. You call yourself Baba in your houses, not at work. Being a president is a job. You are at work to serve. Zana Baba, you can do it at home, guys. But calling Baba at work is one of the most disgusting things I've never listened to. But there are Zimbabweans who are very upset. Take a listen to them. Take a listen.
Maskara siyo andawaya nikuzi nini pisa. Dabatikana. Mandara masoja 102. Nachipiwa mota. But hospitals, you might want to 10 ambulances. Something is not adding up. Because chichakakosha kuti vanachengetedzwe utano hwavo than kukopa masoja 102 motikari. What's the main reason? Because at least tikaona kuti vanhu varwere vakawanda, maambulance akawanda munyika, ndopekuti panzi paitika accident unongoza kuti ambulance dzinosvika in time, right? Saka it worries me a lot, like should we take this kuti something is not adding up. Because pamari dzese dzikupiwa vanhu mota mapati zvese, I want to say this today, it's not good. But leva tichembere dzedu dzama over 60 dzapinda pama benefits. because mari yekutaura chokwadi inokwana nyika yese kuti chemberedzene pamabenefits, because mari yashandiswa pamotikari izvozvo yakawandisa kuti chembere dzipinde pamabenefits ekuti dzinotambirwa nakunzi pawiki kana vachitambira ma150 avo pawiki kana ma200 kana pamonth. Let's for example ndanopiwa ma500 pamonth or ma300 per month. Chembere dzedu dzopiwa mari dzakadaro kuti dzikwanise kuraramawo. Teto kune zvirema zvakawanda zviri kumapfanya zviri kupi, hazvina mawheelchair, hakuna maprograms ari kusapota izvozvo, but we are busy kupa nyika yese motikari. Hakusi kurwadziwa vantu kutaura, ndiri kukumbiriso vakuru kuti onaiwo zvipatara izvo vanhu vari kufanira kushaya mushonga, mari iri kushandiswa kutenga moto kakabhiudha zvipataro zvidiki community medical center. Kuti unoziva kuti kwari mupagdi kune kamedical center karipo kane mushonga wakanyatsodaiswa kuti vanhu vanotorara kuenda kwadzana kune mamedical centers ariko. Zvodaro zvawanda kunyika zvokutotoziva kuti kwari hospital kuwande vanhu tinomara tinenge tichipedza basa. Zvipatara ngazviwande.
So citizens are begging Emmerson Mnangagwa to buy medication. It's begging a president of a country who is being sponsored by the taxpayers' money. He doesn't work. With Mnangagwa just flying, living luxury life, his cars, everything about him is luxury. He does not do anything. So they are begging him. So it's their money. Remember, the money that the state has is our hard-earned money. Now we're begging him to do what he's supposed to be doing. Make it make sense. I asked a question to some very influential people and said, I need to know why is Mnangagwa is investing a lot in cars, but he doesn't want to buy medication. They said, there seems to be a problem. There seems to be an issue with that. Okay, so not an issue as such, but there's a reason why they're doing so. It's blood sacrifices, because the more people die, the more they get strengthened in their so-called rule. But let me give you good news. That's something very small. That one we can deal with it. We can cut that umbilical cord. That covenant is easier, man. What is the point of following Jesus, having all the wisdom, and be terrorized by the wicked? It doesn't work like that. We have dealt with that covenant a long time ago. We've caused chaos there. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I'm not afraid of the devil. Relax and chill. So if it's that their mission, it will not succeed. It will not succeed. So it is as simple as that. We are not going to be afraid. So if it's an issue of blood sacrifices, hello. Hello, sir. I'm sure the sacrifice that you received is enough. This time around, we won't allow you. We will not allow you. Come and never miss the address. It's raining in DRC because the military court in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Tuesday sentenced former President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia, convicting him of crimes including war crimes. I think this is more like politicking. It's politicking. Honestly, it's politicking. Sikaledi is just being dramatic because he's not also a very good leader himself. He's a disgusting human being. But the message I'm trying to send here is that don't be too comfortable when you're in power, because the power eventually vanishes. Because it's borrowed power. You're not Zimbabwe. You can try to call yourself Mutapa and all manner of garbage. People are watching you very closely. All your drama that they are watching you, they've been watching you. So you will not succeed. The Newsworks reported on ED's desperation to coup proof. So Newsworks said to prevent a possible coup, having led one in 2017, survived one behind the scenes in 2019, and now fearing it again. Mnangagwa is strategically reconfiguring the military command structure and dispensing patronage generously is the succession battle between him and Chiwenga, a former army general, intensifies. Mnangagwa yesterday distributed over 100 cars to the Zimbabwe Defense Forces as part of a total 700, so 100 out of 700, which will be given to the military to enhance its mobility. First and foremost, Mnangagwa don't own the money. The money belongs to the state. So whether it's buying the military or the police, that money belongs to us. It's the Zimbabwean people's money. So it's not like it's doing us a favor or anything. In fact, these people are supposed to be equipped anyway. So I don't see anything funny or fancy that he has given them cause. Under normal circumstances, they need to be equipped to do their job. In fact, he has failed to equip most of our institutions. So it's not something new to me. It's not fancy at all. So explaining his program, Mnangagwa said, the vehicles I'm commissioning today are under the first phase of the comprehensive program that will see the government procuring vehicles inclusive of buses towards enhancing mobility from the rank and file of ZDF. Mnangagwa has removed higher-ranking military commanders and sidelined others as he sought to consolidate power. The role of contingency in politics also helped him death. Okay. Some of the deaths were, however, mysterious. These moves and actions have deepened functional infighting within the ruling ZANU-PF party, fueling fears of the new power grab ahead of the 2028 elections. Mnangagwa is particularly tightening his dead man's grip on power, now as he tussles Chiwenga over succession in the run-up to the ruling party's annual conference next month. Even though the conference is not elective, it will have a major bearing on succession. Okay, I've told you earlier on that the cars that are being bought is the taxpayers' money. So every time people push an agenda of faction or fight in ZANU-PF, I feel sad. I feel sad. This is why South Africa, I respect South Africans on one thing. There is a lot going on today in South Africa because of the criminal syndicates who are milking billions and billions of dollars, and they've been caught. They have been caught, and they're clamping down on those monsters. But one thing I never heard South Africans do was, it's a ZANU-PF thing. Oh no, it's an ANC thing. So it's ANC fighting. It's ANC. You see, there's been a politicking in Zimbabwe that is very dangerous. I don't know how to put this across for Zimbabweans to understand it. There have been politicking in our country that is dangerous. Let me use this analogy. Let's assume one of a family member has attacked another family member. And then you say, there's something wrong with this family. Did you deal with the root of the problem? Absolutely not. You are blaming the family, not the person who has done something wrong. So because there's politicking of it's a ZANU-PF thing, every time I talk to people, no, it's a ZANU-PF problem. It's not a ZANU-PF, it's a criminal problem. There are so many people in ZANU-PF, almost 90 or 80% of people in ZANU-PF are suffering. So to now blanketing everybody in this situation where monsters are hiding behind the party. Most of the criminals that have been caught in South Africa were all in the ANC, wearing T-shirts, be at the front. That's how criminals operate. They want to be in control. So you see them in most of government functions, and they're pledging, they are busy, siphoning money. It's all criminal activity. That's how they operate. Zimbabweans, I don't know how to say this. Your problem is not a factional fight. It's a Zimbabwean fight against criminals. Do not undermine what's going on currently, because this is one of the reasons why we're in this predicament. In fact, most people in ZANU-PF are living in fear for your own information, including the big boys. Tell me under normal circumstances where a grown man like Chinamasa would wake up in the middle of the night to send a tweet. Meaning there were people maybe, pointing gun at him and said, do what we say. That's the criminal modus operandi. How can I speak to the Zimbabwean people to understand your problem is not a ZANU-PF thing, it's a criminal fight. But if you keep on politicking, guys, generations and generations will suffer. Don't forget, the issue of crimes did not start now. That's one of the reasons why Mugabe was impeached, was because of Wiki Noshivai. When Wiki Noshivai had this deal of Gwanda solar panel, you saw him with Emerson Mnangagwa gallivanting together taking pictures. I've always said I could only imagine if Ketmatala is actually the small boy. There's a big boy we are waiting to know who are these people. They will come out. There are 5 people that they're saying these are called the big 5. We've caused chaos in the country. They were all in hijacking. They were in, my haste of money haste. They were also in kidnapping. They were part of my drug cartel. There are very some syndicates, but they eventually branch and now begin to poison cities. Poison. Today you are seeing the drugs that you see. It's well deliberate. And here someone is going to sit and say, no, it's a ZANU-PF problem. It's not a ZANU-PF problem. It's a Zimbabwean problem. Children who are being dragged are not for ZANU-PF. Money that is being looted is not for ZANU-PF. It's a Zimbabwean money. Cars that are being bought is not a ZANU-PF money. It's a Zimbabwean money. Money that's leaving the country today, stashed in foreign lands, it's not a ZANU-PF money. It's a Zimbabwean money, taxpayers' money. You cannot underestimate our challenges and call it a party problem. We are better than this. Stop politicking and confront your problems head on. The kids that were ejected out of a plane at Robert Mugabe, it was not a ZANU-PF problem. Robert Mugabe airport is not a ZANU-PF airport. It's a national airport. So you can't sit and say, this is a ZANU-PF problem. It's not. These are criminal gangs that are terrorizing our people. Today, people can't even discuss or talk about politics or politicians because the gangs are terrorizing them. It can't be a ZANU-PF problem. It's a national threat. Dealing with international gangs that you saw during the gold mafia, that Mnangagwa, who was supposed to protect the peace, is having telephone calls with the international gangs who are sitting in Dubai. It's not a ZANU-PF problem. That's a national threat. It's terrorism. Our people being beaten up, stabbed by Chinese people is not a ZANU-PF problem. It's an international problem. Zimbabwe has been infiltrated by gangs. Don't underestimate what you're seeing today in the country. The drugs that you see that are being peddled. I think there was a guy who got interviewed by Andy Tudor, and he's actually in prison right now. He said the drugs they're actually being transported from Cape Town. So you can see the syndicates of crimes that are going on in South Africa, that those drugs are coming from somewhere, land in South Africa, they're now being transported to Zimbabwe. There was a time I heard that there was actually a consignment of a dangerous drug, and then someone was protected in Zimbabwe. You can't say it's a ZANU-PF. Guys, stop politicking. I hate this. I hate politicking. It can't be don't stop politicking. It's bigger than what you guys see. Anyway, Lumumba is out here thinking that Chiwenga can be bought by Mnangagwa. I was laughing. I was like, wow. You think Chiwenga can be bought by Emmerson Mnangagwa? If he wanted to be bought by Emmerson, he could have been bought long time ago. You could have been bought long time ago. We're waiting for Themba Mliswa to bring the second dossier. There's still nothing. We're waiting. That's why I said I don't want to politic. I want to deal with the issues as they are. If I have to blame someone, let me have the facts. Not politicking. Because politics are good at hyping people so that you can hate, but you don't get to be informed and really make the informed decisions. I still stand that criminals need to face the mighty wrath of the law. But let us not politic. Let's not. We understand ZANU-PF is a ruling party. Unfortunately, Mnangagwa, under normal circumstances, wasn't supposed to be the president of Zimbabwe. If ZANU-PF had the teeth to do with crimes, because this man could have been long time arrested. So let's us deal with things. Let's deal with our issues. Applying wisdom, not just politic. Let's listen to Lumumba and his shenanigans. I don't know what to say. I used to believe in Lumumba, but no, I'm no longer believing in him. Take a listen, please.
Things are not looking good.
I agree.
For Chiwenga becoming the next president of Zimbabwe. for now. I also want you to know that it might actually not matter. It might not matter.
It matters.
President Emerson Mnangagwa can fight Vice President Chiwenga tomorrow and the game is a wrap. I don't think that is going to happen. But I also think Vice President Chiwenga can go nuclear and force his presidency. Let me get into it. Yesterday, 120 motor vehicles were given to senior military officials by President Emerson Mnangagwa. Those who think to motor the shande mutu kamba jenyu. Kana t-shirt, skipper, sagari sugar, cooking oil ichishanda. Why on earth would you then actually think the motor has a shande? What I want to do in the next couple of minutes is help you to navigate and understand the power broken of the Zimbabwe succession matrix. I do not believe at all, that the next president of Zimbabwe is a two-horse race. Nor do I believe that it will be settled by 2028 in the next election. I don't believe that. By 2030. I think I cannot imagine ED not fair. Not a planner who's up to say pacho. Zvakatadzwa zvoubvisa ED baba zvakatadzwa namudhare zvikatadzwa nagrace zvikatadzwa neG40 chamisa chitonyadzonyarara izvenyu. Then utori serious kuti zvichagonekwa nepen nebepa. Zimbabwe is approaching a precipice. Everyone who is obsessing over the 2028 constitutional deadline, I think you're absolutely wrong. But before I dissect this for you, I want to make a disclaimer. So yes, I am biased. I support President Emerson Mnangagwa. It's financially profitable for me. But my father is lying at the National Heroes Acre. When he died, he was a second brigadier general. When he passed, General Chiwenga was the first person to come to the house. For that reason, I have an equal heart for the military man. I have proximity to power and bloodline. But I'm also a political scientist in my own right, so pick your poison. Here's the anatomy of power. You have the military versus the oligarchic wealth. The 2013 Constitution says the president can only serve 2 terms. That is the Constitution. So if the president wanted Chiwenga to replace him when his 2 terms are up, the president will say it. If Tabire did not want to be president of Zimbabwe, he would also have said it. If Vice President Chiwenga did not want to be president, he would have said it. So you have some terrible scenarios you need to consider. I don't believe we're going to go to a national referendum. It's political suicide, too risky. I think what's going to happen is they're going to change the duration instead of changing the limit by engineering a constitutional majority play that only needs Parliament's majority in order for them to enact. Why do I say this? Do you really think that President Emerson Mnangagwa wants to step down, can step down, will step down? I just cannot imagine. I don't want to put that about hippie for you to imagine a scenario where President Emerson Mnangagwa is going to step down. Let me put it this way. I believe that President Emerson Mnangagwa would absolutely leave power and step down from office if the people of ZANU-PF said they wanted him to go. But no one in ZANU-PF has said they want him to go. If anybody wanted him to go, they would have said it. Would they not? Okay. This whole concept of leaving office means total exposure, financial ruin, political prosecution. Retirement is not a smart option. And the constitution actually change. You don't want to change. Boys. This thing of Kirana is not as successful or familiar with most vanhu vanonyebedzera kura kuita vanogona kuburukirana vanhu tichaza kuburukirana japi unozoita kuburuka panonaka baba udzai kuti president vachagona kuburuka limousine vana vagona kwatuma positions ikitwa vana misangano yavo basa mabeli of society, and you really think that President Emerson Mnangagwa is going to take comfort in stepping down on the sole concept that pen and paper says. So the game of politics is played in the dark in Zimbabwe. If you ask any political player in Zimbabwe, they will tell you the day of the night determines everything. Alliance shifting, strategic betrayal, raw power accumulation. Power in Zimbabwe flows from mobilization, not institutions. Allow me to.
You know, Mnangagwa need to get his money from Lumumba and Themba Mliswa. If they happen to, like what people are saying, he needs to get his money because this rhetoric is a tired rhetoric. I noticed that Mnangagwa don't realize his fight. That his fight is not a ZANU-PF fight. It's a national fight. You know when you're not smart, you think it's always like I can get my way. Guys, I know politicking, but the politicking no longer work because of where Zimbabwe is today. So I don't care an amount of money you can invest in pushing a stupid agenda. In fact, this agenda of the referendum, we were also asked to push it. Some of us were like, no, Zimbabwe comes first. We have children. We have a future. Some of us want a functioning country where we can live peacefully. We can't carry on all these dirty games. I'm not going to be part of that. But I'm saying that this war rhetoric that Lumumba is busy selling out here, it doesn't cut. Mnangagwa isn't fighting a factional fight. He's fighting a Zimbabwean fight. Zimbabweans do not want him in that office. So hear this very well. And because of that, you won't succeed. You can do anything. You can jump. You can give Zimbabweans $1 billion each. Zimbabweans want him out. It's not about what he can do. People can be bought in my t-shirts. So the military is so stupid that they can be bought with the cars. They're not being bought. It's the Zimbabwean money. They deserve the cars. It's not about being bought. They deserve the cars. So selling this thing of saying, oh, Mnangagwa gave them the cars as if the money came from his pocket is nonsensical. You can't steal money for the country and then you come back, you said, I'm giving you something. I've never seen such stupidity. I've never seen such stupid. The propaganda is so tired. It is tired propaganda. I've always said Mnangagwa is overrated. Can you see? Can you see the kind of people that are speaking on his behalf? Does that sound like a leader who's serious? Who actually know his game? He doesn't have a clue of what he's doing. They're used to that old politics that they've been playing. No, guys, this is 2025, not 1500s. What you did before 1980 and after 1980, killing people and getting away with murder, it will not cut in 2025. Because you know what's happening in 2025? The world has changed. You see, the worst thing is the failure to read the times and seasons. Is the worst thing that any person who kind of claiming to be a leader believe in. So Mnangagwa is not winning. Greed is suicidal. You heard what he said. He can't leave the limousine. Poverty mentality. A limousine? He's actually thinking that it's about cars. You see how much the poverty mentality is entrenched in their mind. Guys, it's like it was being built by material things. Car. What is a car? What is a car? I was shocked to saw the reports that Maga is some of his properties are being auctioned because he failed to pay, I don't know how much amount, $420,000. But this was the same man that was receiving a car. And we know that all those cars is money laundering that is happening there. And I'm sitting and I'm asking myself, I say, you know what? This is sad. And there's some people who think he's a man of God. They think he's a man of God. I feel sick and sad at the same time. You see wisdom. That's what the Bible says. Wisdom is crying on the street. Crying, he wants to help you. So many people are so dumb. They don't even have a clue that all you are seeing today is going to end soon. Wait, watch, and learn. Yesterday, I saw military cars in a Rari, and we're like, what's up, y'all? Relax. Did you also saw Muda? Muda went to a meeting and he had a gun here. They are not all moving around with guns. Why? What are you afraid of? You are the one who brought the gun. You're afraid of yourself. Because Zimbabweans are very good people. They don't even care about guns. Y'all brought the guns and now you're afraid of yourself. I've never seen such kind of life. These guys are in prison. They imprison themselves. That's what stupidity does. You are afraid of yourselves. That's sad. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. I'd want to hear your thoughts, actually, of all that's happening currently, the coup proofing. Do you think you will succeed, Emerson Mnangagwa? I want to hear your thoughts. And trust me, so many people are interested to know what you guys think. But the bottom line is not even a coup at all. I think removing a rogue leader is not coup. It's doing the right thing for the country, not for the person. We're not here to make Emerson Mnangagwa happy. No. We are here to make the country work. So there's a difference. Whatever he's interested in, whatever he wants, we don't actually care because he smuggled himself in that space. He's not forced. You know, it's not like we are saying, no, Mnangagwa should never go. No, we are not desperate. So don't think like you're special. No, you're not doing us a favor. We actually want you to go. So removing a rogue leader is not a coup. It's doing the right thing, like what we did with Mugabe. It's as simple as that. Eventually, sir, you're gonna go. All right, drop your comments. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Relax. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. You know, have you ever been 20 steps ahead of the devil? When you're 20 steps ahead of the devil, you heard me. I love you guys. Bless you and bless Zimbabwe. Share with others. Don't forget to thumbs up the video before you leave. Yo, almost more than 300 people here. Thumbs up the video before you just be a sister's keeper. Okay? So at least everyone can be involved. I don't want a Zimbabwe that's just everybody needs to come to this conversation. We need to talk. I love you. Bye for now.